Hey team, wanted to talk about a few of the not always the most fun, but important file types that we deal with. So that's estate sales, deaths, and power of attorney situations. So um, as always, feel free to reach out to the management team and get clarity on any of the particulars of your given situation. But we are seeing these show up a lot lately for a variety of reasons, and so we want to cover each one off. So first and foremost, let's cover deaths. So in the death situation, there's two types of ownership of a property. So if you've ever noticed on title, you can be a joint owners or joint tenants, or you can be tenants in common. So as joint owners, where a joint owner dies, the remaining person inherits the other share. So this is most commonly with, a husband-wife, married couples, where they're joint owners of a property. As soon as one of them passes away, the other title holder automatically inherits those shares. So think of it as a piece of pie. They each have half of it, and as soon as one's passed away, the other one now owns the whole pie. Automatically, they take over that other half. So all we need in those situations is a copy of the death certificate, and that confirms legally that that person has deceased and this person isn't trying to sell it out from under them or something like that. And the other option is tenants in common. So if they're tenants in common, in that situation, they need to deal with that estate. So if you might have a good example is like an investment property where a couple different individuals own that property, or maybe a company owns half of it, like a holdco, and another individual owns the other half as tenants in common. In that scenario, the estate of the surviving or the deceased party will deal with that property. So that segues nicely into estates. So estate sales are two main types. I mean, you can talk to estate lawyers and go a lot more in depth on this, but there's two main types of files. So the one is where they have probate already. So probate is basically the legal notice process, effectively, where they go out to the public to confirm there's no other potential heirs or debtors to that person's estate who is deceased, and probate's been dealt with and filed with the courts. So estate lawyers deal with all of that side. It's easiest and cleanest if they had a binding legal will, but even if they didn't have a legal will, it just takes a bit longer to get probate approved through court. So first type of file is where probate is dealt with and done already. So that's just a question to ask the executor for the estate, and or ideally you get in contact with the lawyer who's handling the estate sale. Hopefully they would handle the real estate sale, but if not, you do want to contact them directly because it's part of the fact-finding verification process of a listing. If probate hasn't been granted yet, but the lawyers, it's just in process, and lately we're seeing a lot of backlog with the court system in general. So you can still list and sell the property. However, you want to add a seller condition in for approval of probate, or at minimum a term that allows for the extension of closing until probate's dealt with. So there's a few different ways that that can be done. Again, if you have a specific situation, once you've talked to the lawyer already and kind of find out what stage it's at, reach out to myself, Shane, Rob, and we can kind of guide you through how to manage that particular situation. And lastly, power of attorney. So what is POA, power of attorney? So there's lots of reasons for this. It could be an illness. It could be someone out of country traveling. It could be, lots of different scenarios where it could be corporate reasons that they give someone else this signing authority. So power of attorney says, I'm giving you, me as an individual, I am giving you my signing authority for certain things. So what we need to do when it comes to real estate, and it's important to keep in context that this is a person who's still alive. So they may be incapacitated is one reason. There's health reasons and stuff, aging, that kind of thing, if they're not of capacity. So dementia, mental health type issues, those kind of things, that they're not of capacity anymore, then the power of attorney is given to someone else. So for real estate matters, it needs to specifically state real property or a specific property address. If it doesn't say real property, then it's not applicable for real estate transactions. So you can have a power of attorney that gives someone the ability to manage your bank accounts and make insurance changes for you and manage your health decisions. But if it's not specific to real property, then that power of attorney doesn't work for the purposes of selling a piece of real estate. And that's specifically in all the laws in Alberta here. So it prevents someone from giving up their financial power of attorney to deal with matters for them, maybe while they deal with a health event or something else, or they're out of country, but someone can't go and sell all their property out from under them unless they specifically gave direction to do that. And in some cases, power of attorneys will also stipulate parameters under which they can sell property. It might have specifics like certain prices or things like that. So as always, let us know if you have other questions on those. We'll do a separate video as well talking about some of the file requirements and things that show up around court-ordered sales and foreclosures, because those are kind of a separate scenario. But as always, we're here to answer your questions, so reach out anytime.